This is the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, and for £1,329, is this phone really worth that kind of money? For that matter, is any phone worth that kind of money? That's what I'm hoping to find out today, as we go ahead and unbox this phone and find out what we get for the price, and have a little first look as well at some of those features. Hello everybody, my name is Robert, and this is Review Clue. When Samsung announced this thing a couple of months ago, the price genuinely blew me away. £1,300 for the 512GB, 16GB of RAM model, which is the one that I have here. It's a lot of money, but phones are beginning to do more and more, and that's kind of what I wanted to discuss in today's video alongside unboxing this thing. How much is too much to pay for a phone? Is high-end getting a little bit too high-end? So this is actually one of the most expensive products I've ever reviewed and unboxed on this channel. It's quite impressive. This thing costs more than my TV. It costs more than my MacBook. And hell, it's the most expensive phone I've ever held. Of course, before we get into today's unboxing though, if this is the first time that you're seeing my face on your screen, then one, lucky you. And two, go down there, hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification icon so you get notified every time I upload. But without further ado, let's get right into the unboxing and first look at the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Let's go. So here we are with the box itself. But before we get into this box, let's quickly talk specs. This thing has a 6.8-inch display and a resolution of 1440 by 3200. It comes in 12 or 16 gigabytes of RAM. This one is the 16 gigabytes and also comes with a few different storage options. I went with the 512 here. It's the biggest they go, and the reason you'll want to go with a slightly bigger one is because there is no expandable storage for this phone. This is one of the only Samsung phones, I think they're starting to move away from it, that actually doesn't contain or let you use external storage. So an interesting choice there. As noted down bottom here, it is of course 5G and is an AMOLED display as well. But what we'll go ahead and do is get straight into the box and find out what we get. So you're going to notice that this box looks rather thin, and there's a reason for that, and I'm going to rant about it in a minute. Along the side here we've got Galaxy S21, which appears to be a sticker, so I'm not really sure why they've stuck S21 on there. But what we'll go ahead and do is just open up the box here. If I can, there we go. And we've got the phone straight up. So let's take that phone up, place it off to the side, and take a look at what else we get in the box. And I think you'll be surprised. So we get a little package here, and inside this package, all we get is 2 pieces of paper, the warranty card and the quick start guide, and a USB-C to USB-C cable. Now, you're probably thinking there's something missing from this box, and you'd be right. This phone is one of the phones that doesn't come with a charging brick. Now, normally I understand this. I understand the whole looking after the environment thing. But when you go ahead and give me a USB-C to USB-C cable here, let me just focus on that. When you give me a USB-C to USB-C cable, surely I would need a USB-C power adapter or wall adapter. Not many people I know at all own power adapters that have a USB-C end. This is completely insane to me that Apple and everyone else has gone down this same route of giving you this nice USB-C to USB-C cable without giving you a brick to actually charge the thing. So I don't know what they were thinking. I think what they were thinking was we can probably get some nice money out of this. And yeah, they're right, that they can sell this on for quite a lot more than sticking it in the box. So rant over, but I guess the thing here is I'm fine with losing the charger, but just ensure that it's a charger that I don't already own. Very, very few people I know have USB-C charging bricks. So hey, let's go ahead and just pop that down and move it out of the way, because that is literally all you get in the box. For a £1,300 price tag, you get a phone, a cable, and 2 pieces of paper. But the phone is a beaut. On the front, we've obviously got that 6.5-inch display. Looking around the phone, on one side, we've got the power and volume rocker. Along the top, we have dual microphones. Along this side, there is nothing. It's a nice clean edge. Along the bottom, we have a place for the SD card. We have that USB-C port, and we have the microphone as well. On the back, we get that camera array with that 108 megapixel main shooter, and we'll get into all of the other cameras in the full review, but the most important one here is the 108 megapixel. But what we're going to go ahead and do is just peel off the back here. So this is actually quite a nice colour. Maybe slightly more feminine than I may have expected, but I'm not hating it. So let's go ahead. I've just peeled off both the front and the back there. Let's just take a look at that camera array once again. So this may look like there are 5 cameras, but this top one here is actually the laser focusing that that they are priding themselves on. On the back here, it's also a nice matte finish, so it's pretty nice and easy to grip. But let's go ahead and start turning this thing on while we talk about those cameras. Okay, so that's powering on there. Of course, depending on where you are in the world, you'll get a different chip. This is very common in Samsung phones. You'll either get the Exynos or the Qualcomm. This is the international model, so this is the Exynos 2100. But let's quickly talk those cameras. We obviously said about that 108 megapixel shooter there. We also have a 10 megapixel periscope telephoto lens, a 10 megapixel telephoto, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and that laser focusing as well. But let's go ahead and start getting this thing set up, and we'll have a play, because I'm really excited to see this camera in action. So it's of course asking me to get all set up here. So I'm going to choose my language with English UK, accept all the legal jargon, and choose my Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to quickly do this off camera. Okay, so this came with about 50% battery, and that's pretty good. It has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery by default, and I mean, that is a big battery. I don't have a SIM card in this at the moment, so we're going to go and just skip the all of that sort of stuff, but it's doing an update in the background there, so we'll jump back to it once it's all set up and ready to go. Okay, so now it's asking me for my service provider. I've done all of that, but now we've got to the interesting bit of protecting the phone. I, of course, want to use fingerprint because I've never actually used an under-screen fingerprint reader, and I'm intrigued as to how it works. So let's go ahead and do it. Obviously, we're going to start off with a pattern, and I'm going to do my typical R for the pattern there. So that's the pattern unlock done. And now we're moving on to the fingerprint. Okay, so start scanning your fingerprint at the center. It's there. Okay. This is going to take some getting used to. Not actually having the physical button there is quite an odd sensation, because I'm still not entirely sure where I'm meant to be touching, you know? So, an odd sensation, certainly. But let's keep going with it and see what we can get here. We're nearly there, 91%. It is a time-consuming process setting this up, so that's all done. And it's of course going to skip through. Cool. Yeah, we'll let Google in and let him or her. Is Google a him or a her? I don't know. Now we are at the home screen, and that display is really showing itself off at the best. So, oh god, it's doing everything. It's let's just take it back to the home screen there. There we go. Okay, so obviously this screen is the main feature of this phone. This is a 4K display and variable refresh rate up to 120 Hertz. And I can feel it. You can really feel it. It's nice and smooth as I move about on just even the homepage here. But let's take a look at that display, because there is a very, very slight edge to it. So Samsung have always very much liked doing their edged displays, or their rounded off edges displays. And this is kind of in the middle between having a rolled edge display and not having one. So it's very, very slight. But actually, I feel like it helps with usability, especially with some of the navigation controls that they request and require. So what we're going to go ahead and do is have a look around the phone at what we get bloatware-wise. So taking a look here, we can obviously see a whole Samsung tab of a bit of everything. We've got AR Zone, Bixby, Smart Switch. There's a lot of extra stuff on here that maybe I wouldn't have installed myself. Obviously all of the Microsoft suite. But in general, there's not as much crap as I would have expected from a Samsung phone, which is always nice to see. We've obviously got the camera down the bottom there, but let's go ahead and pull down from the top and take a look at the UI itself. So if you're used to Samsung, you're used to One UI and how it works. But I'm just going to go into the display settings and double check that we're running at the best that we can, that 4K 120Hz. So obviously the first thing I'm going to do is go over to dark mode and adjust the brightness a little bit. So motion smoothness, we're going to go for, let's go with adaptive. I'm happy for it to choose what it wants to do. Screen resolution, we aren't actually at the full 4K, so let's go with the full 4K here. And I think that's pretty much it. We're all set on that display now. So the first thing I've always wanted to do with these kinds of phones is play a YouTube video and get a real sense for that screen and for those speakers as well. So we're going to go for my favourite tech review channel, which is of course Review Clue. So let's take a look at one of my videos and have a listen to those speakers. I just want to ask, if this is the first time that you're seeing my face on your screen, then one, lucky you. And two, go down there, hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification icon so you get notified every time I upload. I've got a load of really cool content coming up and I would hate for you to miss out on any of it. But without further ado... Alright, so I think that's enough of that. But generally, that sounded amazing. I'm really not used to good sounding speakers on phones, but that blew me away. And also with that colour reproduction on the screen, like, Samsung screens have always been the creme de la creme, and you can see why. But let's go ahead and jump into that camera and quickly try and grab some photos. So as noted, we have that 108 megapixel camera there. I'm just going to push some bits out of the way so we can get a lovely little photo of that box there. And I mean, straight away, this is the 108 megapixel camera mode, and we are getting such a clean, crisp and clear image. Thank you for that. And honestly, I'm going to have to play with this a little bit more over time. Obviously, I'm going to have videos on all of the camera features and everything about this phone, because this is really interesting to me that I'm obviously going to have videos and I'm obviously going to have videos on this already and all ready to go. So if you're interested in seeing more on this content, so if you're interested in seeing more phones on this, so if you're interested in seeing more content on this phone, then just let me know in the comment section down below, and obviously get subscribed and we can certainly do that. What we'll go ahead and do as well is also grab a selfie here and take a look at the quality on that selfie camera. And there we go, there it is there. I mean, again, absolutely blown away by that camera quality, but it's what we expect, especially from a phone at this price point. But of course, we have to keep in mind that price point. This phone is £1,300. Actually, swiping to the right, to the left now, actually gets us Google instead of Samsung's free. I think they call it Samsung Free, which is nice. Normally you'd have to swipe along to the side and you would either get Bixby or Samsung Free. So it's nice to see that we have Google directly set up into here now. Alright guys, just before we carry on with this video, I just wanted to say a big thank you to today's sponsor, me. Yes, so I'm sponsoring my own video, but I just wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about something that I've been doing on the side. So if you guys don't know, I'm a game developer in my spare time. I like to design and develop games. I've just released my first game on the Apple App Store. It's called Circle Bounce, and basically it's Pong, but you can play it against yourself. It's really cool, really simple, and really fun as well. We've got global leaderboards going on right now, so you can test yourself against you, all your friends. Maybe you can even beat my score. I think it's like 64. But anyway, guys, if you want to support this channel and fancy trying out a new game that you can waste a little bit of time on, especially while you're on the loo, check it out in the description down below. And of course, it would mean the world to me if you could leave a rating there as well. But anyway, let's get right on with finishing up with the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra. Right now, looking at this phone, I think the only way I could justify a price tag like that is if you didn't have other devices around you. For example, if I didn't have a perfectly good camera, this camera set would probably do just as well. If I didn't have a Nintendo Switch but still wanted to play games, the screen here, the chips and the processor is going to do games immensely well. So there's that one. If I don't watch a lot of TV content and watch a lot of YouTube or other social media content, this screen is perfect for that, and so are those speakers. So maybe if you don't own a TV and a games console and a camera, this is slightly more of an acceptable price and easier pill to swallow. But for me, I already have a TV, I already have games consoles, I already have a camera. Can I justify spending £1,300 on this kind of device? You'll have to find out in my full review. Alright, so there we have it, guys. That has been the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, the unboxing and the first look. This is the most expensive phone I have ever owned, and honestly, it's kind of daunting. I've got a lot of work to do with this phone in terms of testing out the cameras, testing out usability, and even gaming on this thing. So if you want to see those videos, then don't forget to get subscribed down below, and also maybe comment what you'd be interested in seeing. And I will obviously catch you in the next one. Adios.